Diorama.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I like how it's only half the car. You only need half. You don't need the rest of it.
Oh my god.
Today I'm going to show you how I made this 1:9 scale diorama depicting Mel Gibson's 2006 drunk driving arrest in Malibu. And if you stick around to the end, I'll tell you how it could be yours.
It'd be great if you like push a button and it was yelling about the Jews or whatever.
For the man himself, I decided to sculpt his head full size.
I didn't
3D
really watch
scan
this.
it,
I just saw the
print it
thumbnail.
small.
I don't know
That way I
if it's
could
any good.
capture more detail. I like sculpting big heads. The clay I'm using is wed clay. It's water-based. Wed being an acronym
Isn't
for Walter E.
Most
Bisbee,
paint or clay
the
water
famous
based?
mouse
I don't know. I don't know.
enthusiast.
Maybe not.
No,
Some
I
hair
don't think
to
so.
see Mel amongst the mud.
I guess maybe just clay I'm used to.
Give him a few peepers.
The peepers.
Mel's arrest report was leaked to the media.
Those are some
Things
good
he
looking
said
peepers.
that night were pretty spicy, to say the least.
This is supposed to
And I
be
wanted
Mel.
this sculpture to really capture the energy of the moment.
It
while
should
also
be him
paying respect to
screaming
the
nigger.
fact that the man was absolutely rubber drunk on tequila.
That's so
Mel's
awesome.
Irish heritage is betrayed by his lovely big Celtic ears, so it's important we get those right.
Oh,
In order to get to know Mel better,
oh my god,
I
it looks
decided
like.
to read his autobiography, acting my way all the way to the top. Let me read you a section about Mel's time working with Anthony Hopkins and Daniel Day-Lewis on the film The Bounty. Most of the filming was done on a replica sailboat off the coast of New Zealand. Daniel Day-Lewis took to making his own wine in the cistern of the toilet in his quarters, thus rendering his lavatory useless. So Danny used
Pause
to
it.
relieve himself over the...
Daniel Day-Lewis made toilet wine on a boat.
It's not that surprising.
Wait, Daniel Day-Lewis made what? What were they doing? They were They were sailing together. What? They were on a set on a boat.
When Anthony Hopkins walked past one night to see Danny perched on the bow of the ship, defecating into the ocean, the Welshman exclaimed, "What the hell are you doing, man?" Quick as a flash, Danny responded, "Don't worry, my love. It's all in the name of a nice Chianti." Hoppy was so inspired by this exchange that he used the line in the film The Silence of the Lambs. As a result, Daniel Day-Lewis gets paid £5 in royalties every time the film is shown, excluding oil rigs and educational purposes. Fun times on the Bounty. I opened up Mel's ears a little bit. All the better to
He
hear
made
Jesus
toilet
with.
wine.
And a scotch pad to
That's
take away some of
disgusting.
the rake marks.
It'd be even funnier if they were only on the boat for like 2 days.
Yeah. Probably
With
were.
the furrowed brow, I'm going to use this little wiry loop tool. I do enjoy sculpting
The
a
movie
furrowed brow.
Bounty. That's fucking
Try
disgusting.
it yourself. And there he is, drunk Mel Gibson. I brought him to the beautiful people at Odyssey Studio to be sculpted. And there's Digital Mel. I brought it into ZBrush so I could manipulate it further, snarled him up a little bit, made him a bit more angry. Just go back.
Dude, I
and
bet
pick
Mel
out
would
some of the
actually, like,
details that
really
were lost in the
appreciate this.
scan. This is my
Probably
first time using
would.
ZBrush. I hated it. I got a body from CG Trader there, some chap, and huskied it up a little bit. Tucked half his shirt back in to give it that tequila sunrise look. Sharpen up his eyes a little bit. All the better to see Jesus with. Then I sent it to the printer. Off camera, I straightened out his hand, pointing in an accusatory fashion. Now it's time to prime and paint. Start with the whites of his eyes. Then a sexy Malibu sunrise copper tone for the man himself. Dot in some pupils. One eye a little more open than the other one. Proof of a good night on the town. Some chestnut hair, rich and full. A set of blue jeans for the boy. Some smart brown shoes. Oh, hello. Nice watch, Mr. Bond. On the night in question, he was wearing a striped shirt, but there's no way I'm painting all those stripes. And here he is. Are you a Jew? Or the arresting officer I just downloaded
That's
a
awesome.
cop.
That's fantastic.
Are you a Jew? Or the arresting officer I just downloaded a cop. His legs were too long, so I gave him a bit of surgery. It's a county sheriff, and their colours are green and brown. The arresting officer was a chap by the name of James Mee. I was going to do a likeness of James Mee, but I could only find one picture of him. So I just got this guy. His fingers are growing through his torch there. I don't know why. You'd have to ask James Mee.
That'd be funny if this guy found out, the officer found out
And there
about
he
this too.
is. Mel had been
like, great,
drinking
I'm
in
just-
moon shadows on the Pacific Coast Highway. I'm not sure exactly where he was arrested, but I chose this spot because there's an undercover cop car there. So let's use this as a base of our diorama and make some red cliffs and a bit of road. Start by making the base out of MDF or MDMF. Depends on what you want to do with it. I got this foam in the offcut section of Foam Depot. You can also just go into your local foam zone, check the offcut section. And if you're saying to yourself, but Bobby, I don't have a Foam Depot or a foam zone in my area, that might give you an
Foam
insight
zone.
into the YouTube experience of every single person living outside of
No
North
problem.
America. I carved it back and covered it in a mixture of acrylic one, sand and sawdust, on a couple of stones which I got from my neighbour's driveway. He's a chatty fella.
The other thing I like about Chinese women.
Mixed that in with the acrylic one to give it this stone speaking through kind of a look.
Did not expect this to be funny at all.
Brush to get some nice texture. I let water run over
Oh,
the
man.
half-cured acrylic one to give you these kind of rivulets in the top. Then I mix some black pigment in with the
I
acrylic
really thought the
one
funniest part would
in
be
a
the
very
diorama itself.
satisfying manner. Smudged it around the diorama base. Once it had half cured, I got a chip brush and stippled it. Then I sanded it back. Then I painted the cliffs with some acrylic paint. I built up these colours in washes, lots and lots of washes. And a little bit of dry brushing. Not too much dry brushing because that makes it look like a model. And some fake grass from neverboard.ie. Then some flocking. Flocking, love it. And a few sticks. I also snipped up some chip brushes
He
and
better be.
used the bristles to create tufts of grass. Hog bristles, I believe. Scattered some stones out for the hard shoulder and sprayed glue on it. A few details before releasing some more glue. And I airbrushed the gravel to make it match up with the cliffs. But it was all looking a bit too plastery, so I sprinkled some dust on it and blew it off. I used these ridiculously expensive makeup palettes to paint the diorama, bring back some of the washes into it, the reds, the maroons, the burgundies, dilute the bejesus out of it. For the road I wanted to rely less on texture and more on colour, so I splattered some acrylic paint, and while it was still wet, I streaked it with a cloth. Built those colours up and then I painted a big long white line over it. Went back in with a few stains, streaks, and dirtied up the white line.
Autism is a
And
really
there it
cool
is.
thing.
Man,
Yeah.
oh. The police car is a Ford Crown Victoria.
Wow,
Oh,
dude,
yeah,
you
Scratch
made this
built this
car.
particular automobile out of Fomex, or St. Brendan's board, as it's called in Europe. Then took to whittling.
So you're a
I learned
Took to
most of my
whittling.
whittling skills from a model maker
to
called
whittling.
Bart while I was working as an intern on the ill-fated sequel to Castaway, Castaway 2, where Tom Hanks reprises his role as Chuck Noland, only this time he gets stuck on a polar island with a basketball called Spalding. We got about 3 days into production before Hanks
that was a
threw his
volleyball?
hands up in the air, said, "What the hell are we doing?" and walked off set. I think there's footage of it on Dailymotion, but sure, who looks at Dailymotion? I stretched some
Too
Brendan
true.
board over the roof there and softened the edges up. Oh, more whittling. Then I took some polyester filler and filled the holes,
Some kind of foam board.
take away some
Yeah.
of the hard edges.
Yeah, just pieces of
Rounded them
what do you call it? St. Brendan's board.
All this sanding
Yeah.
kicks up a lot of polyester dust. It's nasty stuff and I don't like it in the workshop, so I gather it all up and put it in a bag. When I have about a
You
kilo
can
of
use it later to poison people with.
I'll wrap it up nice and tightly in
Sell it to
some
people at the
plastic
park.
with some
Yeah.
duct tape.
Yeah.
Then I'll bring it out to the airport and leave it in the toilet, where I know it'll be disposed of correctly. But I want the finished car to be hollow, so I'm going to make a silicone mold of the model.
Good to know
thus
there's
far.
still based people on YouTube.
This is a brush-up silicone mold.
Yeah, I hope he
With an
burns all
acrylic one
that
jacket.
polyester.
It's good stuff, this acrylic one. It's fast, clean, strong, non-toxic. You can get it in Arachnid Effects. I'll leave a link below. I popped open the mold and did an epoxy cast. Then I cut out the windscreen and cut out some windows. Scored some of the finer details into it.
I don't understand why you made it and then made a mold and then
Blur.
filled
Yeah,
the
I
mold
don't-
up.
Yeah,
Let me
no,
know
I
in the
don't know.
comments.
The wing mirrors I sculpted. 2 bits stuck together, then popped them apart.
This is insane.
I don't know what I'm doing there. Cut out the lights. I used that UV cure resin with some tissue mat to make the headlights. Worked wonderfully and cured in about 4 seconds. For the roof lights, the flashing blue and reds, I 3D modelled them and printed them in clear resin. Then mixed a bit of oil paint with the UV resin to get the blue and red. Stuck them on that thing.
Get the cherries and berries.
Painted it. I made a
How
front
much
grille.
work for a diorama of
Yeah,
Mel
he's-
Gibson getting arrested?
yeah, this is so fucking in depth.
Whenever he was doing this,
It
if
was
he just
time
like
for a
would
wheel.
think about it from time to
And
time,
he
and, like I would like
Like,
burst
at some
out
point he stopped and was like,
Yeah.
why am I doing this?
And
Yeah.
3D printed it in.
I spent
Odyssey
75
Studios.
hours on this already. Why am I doing
Like
this?
on the car, just on the wheel, or just not, just like on this
I
car, just
primed
building
it,
this
gave
car.
it a lick of paint.
Oh, did you miss that, Abyss? This is a
Created the wheel.
diorama of
I
Mel
used
Gibson
this
being
plumbing
arrested.
fitting.
It's
About
DUI
22
arrest.
mil, or 6/22 twelfths of an inch, as an American might say. They do things differently in America.
6/22 of an
Take
inch.
Something as simple as measuring and make it as convoluted as humanly possible. Then take something as complicated as politics and make it as easy as possible. They even color-coded it. You got the blue team who get very upset when you don't agree with everything they
Yeah,
say,
same.
and the red team who appear to be unwilling to do much, if anything, about children getting shot in the face while they're trying
Not
to
this
learn.
much time.
Having
No.
said that, they do know how to make a good hamburger. I stuck on some trimming around the windscreen and added a little bit of filler just to fill in the gaps. I cut some small wipers out of the Brendan board and painted them up. For the orange section of the headlights, where the indicators go, I drilled a hole and painted in some of the UV resin, tinted with oil paint. It looked jolly good.
It's jolly good. That is jolly good.
Some more window trim, a bit of black on the wing mirrors. So I wasn't going to make the interior, but then I decided I would.
What a
Cut
psychopath.
some chairs out of Foamex, molded them in silicone and cast
Made
them
more
in white
molds.
paint.
Made more molds.
Then I
Just so
primed
they'd
them,
feel like pads.
Jeez.
Oh
gave
my
them a
god.
lick of paint.
Like, bro, go work
This
for
partition
Revel.
between the front and the back.
Design
no
models
shit.
for them.
Protect the back of the police
Or
officer's head
whoever.
from
Like,
effluent. I cut the interior paneling.
I've built some models and they are not easy. Well, some of them are, but
yeah, this guy should be like
This is
designing
next
or something,
level.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Then I made the
Yeah.
worst dashboard.
He should be coming up
In
with
model
new
making
or
history.
prototypes for them to then mass
It's
produce.
just so bad. But it's gonna be tucked inside the cop car and facing away from
The side of the seat?
so
Is that what
we're
that
never
is?
gonna see it.
The dash.
Oh, it's a
Thank
dashboard.
God.
wow.
Last but not least,
No
I
one's
put
ever
the
gonna see it, don't
steering
worry.
wheel. This was the most enjoyable part of this entire
Steering wheel?
project. Then I stuck it on
Yeah,
the
he's
shitty
so
dashboard.
autistic. I like making the steering wheel.
Few graphics. Then I cut the arse
And now
off
to
the
cut it
car,
in half.
and that was it. Let's put in a street light, and we'll call it done. However, Mel was arrested at 2:15 in the morning, so something like this seems more appropriate. Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore trees. Dream a little
Oh, this time well spent.
dream of me.
Yeah.
Say nighty night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me.
A weird fucking video.
it's me.
Yeah, very weird.
While I'm alone,
I didn't expect it to be like that.
let's
Who is this? Bobby
No idea.
Fingers.
It just
Oh, that's
popped
his
up on
only
my feed
video.
the other day. It's his only video. Wow.
Huh.
2 months ago.
Yeah, it just popped up and I was like, oh, weird. And then it's popped up again and I remembered it when we were talking earlier.
Got
Never
him
watched it.
30,000 subs.